What is up, you guys? Thank you for coming back to my channel. If you want to know how to make this headband, stay tuned. DJ, cue that intro. So first off, you will need your patterns. You will need elastic, pins, your thread, scissors, and your fabric. Okay, so we're going to start off with some head measurements. You're first going to measure the circumference of your head. Mine was 22 inches. That's all around. Then you will minus 4 inches from that 22, which will give you 18. Now the 18 inches will be the length of your fabric that you're going to cut out, and the width would be 4 inches. So you will cut 4 pieces of fabric, 18 by 4. Now going down to the elastic casing, now it will be 2 inches by 12 inches, which means that the width of the elastic casing will be 2 inches and length is 12. Now going down to elastic size, I'm using a 1 inch elastic, and the length will be 4.5 inches. I hope you understand that. So first off, because of the corona issue, I didn't have real elastic. So I have this elastic headband here. I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to open it. So that's why I'm snipping the thread that's in there sewn together. So I'm just cutting it to get one long elastic piece. This is my cheap way of getting elastic. So this is my elastic, which is 1 inch by 4.5 inches long. First, I'm going to just zigzag stitch the edges so it can look a little bit clean. Now this area is the area that I want to use for the headband. I want this print to be shown on the headband. So I'm going to just start to cut out from this area. So I'm going to cut one piece here. Then I would just carry it up a little bit and cut another piece. Remember, we're cutting 4 pieces of this size. You will cut around again. Now with this, the elastic casing, this is where the elastic is going to go in. So you have to cut 2 of these. So at this point you should have 6 pieces, 4 for the actual headband and 2 for the elastic casing. Now what you're going to do is to put the right sides together, turning it together. Make sure everything match up. You do it for all of these pieces. Next step, once you have it right sides together, the next step is to fold it in half. Fold it in half. Fold it in half, only on one side, and then you will bring this down to the edge down here for it to make a little triangle. Once you make the triangle, then you would just snip off all of the layer of fabrics on this side. So now you will go to your sewing machine and start stitching all the way around of this piece, all the way down. And make sure your right sides is together. And then you would do the same thing for this piece right here. So for this area right here, it's a little bit tricky, but all you have to do is pull your presser foot up, you leave the needle inside of the fabric, you put it back down, you start sewing again, and when you reach at this tip, you would do the same thing. You would leave your needle down inside of the fabric, pull the presser foot up, turn it, put the presser foot down, and start sewing again. It's just to get those corners. It can be a little tricky, but you will get the hang of it. So all of your pieces should look like this after you finish sewing. Now for this piece, you will just have to sew just down in the straight line for both sides, by leaving the top side and the bottom side open. Leave these open, don't close them up, just sew along the sides. But for these, you can just sew all the way around and leave the opening here. So now what you have to do is to pull everything outside. Before you pull everything outside, you can go ahead and trim off the excess. Just trim off any excess that you have, but don't cut into the thread, but clip any excess you have. Okay, so when coming to the edges or the corners, you have to take something and poke them out so it wouldn't be so rounded. And then you will just go to the iron and iron it out. Okay, so now we just have to put the elastic through the elastic casing. Make sure to pin the end of that side because you don't want to lose your elastic inside of the casing. That's not fun. So I'm not sure if I showed you, but I actually put a pin at the edge of the other side of the elastic so it could be easier to pull through. So once that pin is there, you're able to pull it all the way through and securing the area on the bottom with a pin like I did before. So now you will use another pin to just secure that elastic in the casing so you wouldn't get lost. Okay, so this part is a little bit tricky. Take one of the edge of the elastic and place it on the front side of the actual band, if that makes sense. Your band will be facing upwards with the right side upwards, the area that you want to see or you want people to see, that will be upwards. So you would take one of the side of the elastic and you will pin that area to the right side. I really hope you understand. Now you will take that part and you will put it onto the other part of the area that you want people to see. I really do hope that you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say. It's really hard to explain. But the other end of the elastic, you just put it on the edge of the part of the band that you want to see. Oh my goodness. Okay. I really do hope that you get what I'm saying. So basically the area that you want people to see, they should be facing each other. Then you will go ahead and secure the elastic onto the band itself. Now you just have to make a stitch on each side. It can be a straight stitch or a zigzag stitch. I chose to do a zigzag stitch. Okay, so my zigzag stitch is not perfect, so please don't criticize me. So you just have to just clip off the edges so it wouldn't be bulky when you turn it over. So all you have to do now is just turn this inside on both sides. And this is what it looks like now. So this is your finishing product. So this is what it looks like inside now. Everything is all nice and hidden. So this is the last step that you have to do. I'm using a folder to help me to tie my knot. You can use a book. It's according to how tight of a knot you want. That way it can fit around your head. If you have a small head, then you can use a smaller book or folder or anything. But just have something to help you. So what you want to do is just make an X, and you will take that left side and you put it underneath. Then you will pull it vertically. Then you will take that left piece again and put it over and under the right piece, and just pull it as tight as you would like. If you want a big knot, then you don't have to pull it as tight. So right now, all you're doing is to adjust everything how you want it. Once that is done, you can now take it off and try it on. If it's too loose, then you can just go back again and tie it even tighter, or if it's too tight, you can loosen it up. So here I'm just showing you how everything looks from the back and from the front. So you will just continue to adjust until you're satisfied with how you want it to look. Now for me, I wasn't satisfied how the ends were flapping around. I don't want to look like I have bunny ears. So I'm going to actually stitch the edge of it. So you just take a needle and a thread and just manually sew it. So I decided to just leave the edge pointing, but just sew it in that way instead of folding it like I showed you before. So once you sew it, it should be secure like this and laying flat, but I didn't sew mine as yet. But you're all done. Hey! Thank you guys so much for watching, for staying for this long video. I thank you. I do appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you tried it. See you guys again. Bye.